there's this girl on TikTok who is basically, she's coming for the spiritual people's necks. And she's like, what the hell is this? Let's examine the morality of what you're teaching and why. And I think just following that and just seeing how many of these so-called spiritual teachers don't want to accept critique, it was scary to me. These people are preaching about if you have this X mental illness, it means that you are of this intergalactic, particles in your brain, and you're special, and then you need to pay me $300 an hour to coach you through that so we can manifest this very specific thing. And I was just and these people were just not receiving that criticism at all. They were just I don't want to hear it, basically, this is the truth, shut up. And then I think that that really sealed the deal for me, where I was this shit is scary and I don't want to be a part of it anyway, anymore. And I think there's a way to maybe be a part of it in a sense, but not like that. And I got really just turned off by the, I guess, new age discussion about manifestation. And I know you guys have talked about this before and done workshops on it and stuff, but it was just a whole thing. And I was I'm not doing this anymore. And I actually went back and deleted podcast episodes where I had even referenced it. And there probably are still references to it, but I was no, this is scary.
It can be. Absolutely.
It can be. Yes.
And Andrew knows from my previous history on TikTok that I've actually been personally responsible for some people just leaving TikTok as a result of me just commenting, leaving comments, questioning over and over and over and over again. And it was always about the toxic positivity that tends to be in spirituality and the need for a more and more complex narrative, galactic battles between heaven and hell and astral planes and the whole thing. So it just becomes another egotistical game instead of the genuine process of becoming more sane. Because that's really all this is about. It's becoming more present, more grounded in what is, whereas that doesn't feel very good, at least not when you're not used to doing it, right? And so we'd rather just create fictions. We'd rather create tales. We'd rather focus on what we want and then justify why we didn't get it because we didn't abide by some rule that doesn't really exist. It happens all the time. It's the most insane thing to watch, but on the other hand, you can see where it's coming from. But just like somebody who's aware can relate to somebody who is spiritual. Somebody who is spiritual has a harder time relating to somebody who's aware. And it's because of that narrative. It's because of that ego, right? Whereas the person who's aware is removing all of that stuff. So they're trying to empathize. They're trying to see where that person's from. Whereas the other person is just trying to measure everything according to the truth that they hold on to for false certainty. So the conversation is one way regardless. It's so interesting to watch that transition.